Okay, so we've talked about self-concept. Now we're going to dive into beliefs. So your beliefs are what you believe, it's pretty self-explanatory. It's what you have made an assumption about and made a fact in your mind. It's not necessarily a true fact, but in your mind it is. And therefore, once again, this reflects back to us in our physical reality. So if I am believing that I am unworthy, I am not good in business, I can't attract clients, then I would have a really difficult time growing my business, if that makes sense. So you can apply this to your relationships as well. If you have a belief that you don't experience healthy relationships, if you say that you always attract a narcissist or toxic relationships, or your relationships always have problems, they don't last long, blah, 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 then what do you think you're going to experience? So again, take a look at the thoughts you have, how you believe them, how much you give into them, and then take a look at your circumstances and see how much they're matching up to those beliefs, because that will probably tell you something. Now, where do these beliefs come from? Oftentimes our beliefs are from our childhood. So maybe your parents divorced when you were really young, they had a really unhealthy relationship, they didn't really show you how to have healthy relationships in your life, they didn't teach you how to communicate properly, any of that. That can create a belief system in us from a very young age that we tend to carry with us through adulthood, and then we begin to experience relationships and other circumstances that match up perfectly to these beliefs because it's what we think is a fact. So we are literally perceiving everything happening in our reality through these goggles of the beliefs that we have. So it's not that you want to, a lot of people can tend to, go back to their childhood, see that their parents instilled these beliefs on them and want to blame your parents for that. But truthfully, your parents are just acting from as much as they know how to do consciously as well. They probably didn't understand everything we are talking about here. So for you to go and make this change in your life is very important, and you are taking a big step to expanding the consciousness in your family that you will be able to pass down to your kids if you have not already. Anyways, your belief system is literally creating your life consciously or unconsciously. So you're going to want to start shedding some light on these beliefs and shifting them out. And the way you're going to do this is to actually start writing down what you have been believing. In the worksheets part of this course, you will find a limiting beliefs worksheet, and it's going to walk you through exactly how to do that. It's going to help you kind of identify where beliefs come from or yours came from and work through that. Another way that beliefs can be instilled in you is actually through the use of social media, content, movies, the news, anything like that. Even if you weren't a child, you may have throughout your life watched movies, or maybe you scroll through TikTok a lot and you've picked up on other people's beliefs and made them your own story. And in doing that too, when you really deeply make this a belief in yourself, you too will experience similar circumstances. Just to give you a personal example, in the beginning of my relationship, everything was going really, really well. And I actually was really obsessed with TikTok at the time. I was scrolling through it constantly and it was showing me everything I just did not want to see. 10 red flags this person is using you, or what guys say when they actually don't want a relationship with you, all these things that were popping up on my news feed. And I was like, oh my God, this stuff is true. And I would believe it. I would read the comments and see other people who believed it, and I made an assumption, and eventually it became a belief, and that belief reflected right back to me through him. And it wasn't until I realized what I was doing to myself, how I was kind of self-sabotaging here, and shifted that around, stopped watching content like that. Literally hit the I'm not interested in this kind of content button. I made a completely new TikTok account because I just wasn't, I didn't want to give into that stuff anymore, because you don't have to believe what everybody else believes. Everybody in the world can have one specific belief and they will experience it that way, and you can choose to have a belief that's completely different from that, and therefore you experience it differently. So you have a choice. You don't have to believe what your friends say. You don't have to believe what your family says. You are your own person. You have to take responsibility and change your beliefs and make them work for you if you want to experience a favorable reality.